All right, this is super cool. We are on the playtest server for Dragonheir. Big shout out to Dragonheir for giving me special access to this build. This is going to be going live on the 15th with the start of Season 2. We're going to go over the 3 new damage schools in this video, as well as some of the highlights of things that are pretty exciting coming for Season 2, which is starting on the 15th. I'm going to give a shout out to Dragonheir for sponsoring this video, and also a shout out to everybody that came and liked my last Dragonheir video. There is a link in the description. You can use the link to download the game. The video is sponsored by Dragonheir, and when you click the link, it does help support this channel. Now, Dragonheir is available for download not only on iOS and Android. There's also a dedicated PC client, which I'm playing from today. There's also one from Mac, and you can download the game on Steam. What's coming on the 15th? So much stuff. There's a brand new region called Aetherkarn. The water situated southeast Adenthia are known as the Misty Sea, where Sheen elves and wood elves and merfolk reside. Tons of new merfolk in the game. They look really pretty cool. Hopefully we'll go over some of them later. Travelers may cruise across the Misty Sea, tour Aetherkarn. And anytime I say a name wrong, be sure to start your own drinking game. Take a drink every time I say something wrong to admire its landscape and explore the merfolk habitats in the ocean depths by a certain means. Brand new story. So this is Season 2, Fall of the Crescent, the Silvery Tower, and Dusky Tower stand erect on the land of Aetherkarn, constructed by Sheen elf ancestors as of late. However, the destruction befalls the Dusky Tower for unknown reason. The anomaly induces an imbalance between the two towers, inducing the invasion of the Inquietum into the Aetherkarn for the sake of maintaining order for being overthrown. You, the mighty traveler, I'm the Lizard King. My traveler's the Lizard King, will embark on a thrilling adventure to the Aetherkarn. Brand new heroes. Over 30 new heroes will be added, among which are the 17 legendary heroes. In today's video, we're going to go over the 3 schools of damage, which are going to be Burn, Thunderbolt, and Ice Blast. There are some other characters, including some pretty cool epics. Like there's a pretty cool epic for Necrotic. So in tomorrow's video, we're going to go over like the Radiant ones, the Necrotic ones, and so on, and the Poison ones. And they seem a little bit more plug and play, where these ones here look like they're going to have insane damage output because they have a lot of synergy amongst themselves. The first one is called Burn, a fire school of damage dealing that specializes in AoE damage. Heroes of this school inflict enemies with burn, making them deal periodical damage to surrounding units. I imagine that's going to be amazing in like the Fae or the Goblin Trial. Maybe not against like single target boxes. Well, because it specifically says that it's AoE. And that's going to be the focus of today's video, is we're going to go over these 3 schools right here. I've got them all loaded up. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort right now for Burn. And then we're going to go over the new characters that have the Burn tag. And this one right here, and I don't know how to say his name, Ashitis, is the Burn. And that's the main one. In fact, he has a special artifact. And we're going to look at the special artifact right here. Malicious Manacle. And that's more special for him. Attack. Look at this. When it's maxed out, 80% crit damage. My goodness. Ashitis gains an additional 20% crit rate. And incineration damage bonus from dispelling burn is increased, and that's going to be important because his ultimate, when it goes off, it depletes the burn. So typically on these, we're going to go over it. There's ones that enable burn and then ones that do a lot more damage and they get rid of the burn, and that's what this guy does. The damage bonus from dispelling burn is increased. The damage bonus for each attack burn dispelled is increased by 150%. Let's look at his abilities. His leadership ability, his aura, increase all allies' attack by 30% in all battles. I feel like that is typically the best leadership ability. Then his passive skill, basic attack, deals additional fire damage to the enemies in 3 adjacent tiles in front of the hero when the basic attack deals damage to enemies under burn. So it needs to have burn. Increase the hero's ultimate energy by 5%. Ultimate up was a super important mechanic last season for placement, where the in-game boss, you needed the ultimate up ability or the ultimate down ability to get him into that topple mode. We'll see how that plays out this season. Then we've got the battle skill. Deal fire damage to enemies with range and has 75% chance of inflicting stack of burn on them. So this is the way that he can apply burn himself, but his primary function is to dispel the burn and blow the entire board up. Dispel all enemies burn and deal fire damage to them, then triggers blast on all the enemies, with each enemy as a blast center dealing an additional attack and fire damage to surrounding enemies. And this is the key part: for each stack of burn previously dispelled from any, the blast damage is increased by 75%, and that's further amplified by his artifact. That just makes it even more powerful. So that is, I guess this is like the main burn guy. Let's go and look at the other burn heroes. There's several of them. There's a couple legendary ones, and then there's a couple epic ones as well. Let's take a look at, and even some rares, right? So this one right here, and we're just gonna wing it. I did read all these kits yesterday at length, but we're gonna do it right now. When the enemy skill hits an enemy inflicted with burn, deal additional damage. Derivative fire damage, so enlightenment's gonna be good, right? Strikes enemies 6 times, each dealing an attack with enlightenment, with a 35% chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn on them for 10 seconds. So that's going to be a way of putting burn on them. And then the ultimate ability bombards all enemies in the field 3 times, each dealing lots of damage plus enlightenment damage, with a 45% chance of inflicting 2 stacks of burn. So this guy is going to be excellent for applying burn. You can put the burn down first and then explode it with this. That would be fantastic. So in general, there's characters that have the ability to apply a lot of burn, and then there's characters that take advantage of that and explode the entire board. Boy, this guy reminds me of Nimbus, right? The lightning guy. Let's take a look. Passive skill: whenever enemy's burn is dispelled, triggered, or expired, do more damage to the enemy and surrounding enemies. That's a great passive. Love it. Locks onto 3 random enemies and fires missiles of them. Each missile deals fire damage to enemies within range, with a 50% chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn on locked targets for 10 seconds. And then right here, bombs the target area, dealing fire damage with enemies with range 3 times while ignoring 15% of the defense of enemies under burn, and also grants attack up and crit damage to all burn allies. So looks like this guy right here is going to be one of the better ways to get burn out there, and then we're going to be able to take advantage of it with the other 2 legendaries. It feels like the way that this burn team is set up, like it's going to be amazing if you're able to get enough heroes together to make it work. And that's been my experience with other like Frost and so on, but this seems to be similar here with burn. Right here we have an epic Xerax. Right here, passive skill: when the hero and summon units deal damage to enemies inflicted with burn, has a 50% chance of triggering blast 1. Blast dispels a stack of blast and triggers AoE damage by burn once. Then deals fire damage with enemies with range and has a 75% chance of inflicting stack. So the battle skill will be inflicting burn. And then the ultimate summons a self-made turret at the target location for 20 seconds. The turret will attack enemies with the range regularly. And what does the turret do? Fire damage with a 50% chance of inflicting a stack of burn. So this guy is going to be applying burn with his turret. I like it. Let's go to Eris's. Another burn. This is an epic. We have a crit damage aura that increases allies' crit damage by 24% in all battles. Passive skill: when the hero deals damage to the enemy with a basic attack, there's a 30% chance of inflicting the enemy with a stack of burn for 10 seconds. So this guy is going to be a burn enabler. Right here, we've got the battle skill: attack shield for 5 seconds, then deals fire damage to enemies around the hero for every 8 seconds for 4 seconds. So this is looks like it is quite an amazing ability. Then Flame Domain, which is going to be around him, deals fire damage within range. If the targets are under burn, dispel all the burn from them. For every stack of burn dispelled, deals an additional fire damage to them. So again, he looks like he's a burn dispeller that takes advantage of the burn that is placed out there. And this guy, I really like this guy's passive ability, where when that happens, whenever burn is dispelled or triggered, do extra damage. I like it. What does this guy do right here? We've got an accuracy aura. This is Lyle. He is a epic as well. For each enemy inflicted with burn in the field, the hero gains a stack of attack up to 10 stacks. So he can get a 50% attack bonus. Fantastic. Screaming Fire Spirit, his battle skill, cast a fireball that can bounce between enemies for up to 5 times, dealing fire damage upon them with a 75% chance of inflicting stack. That seems like a great way of getting burn out there, right? Every time his battle skill goes off, he's going to get probably 75%, over 5. You probably get 4 of them, right? If he has enough accuracy anyways. Then deal damage with fire damage within range and triggers blast on enemies inflicted with burn. And the blast is dispelling the burn and it's basically exploding them. Now, we've got rares, 2 rares right here. Every 6 basic attack has a 100% chance inflicting 1 stack of burn on the target. That seems pretty good. And then if you go to a 2-star, every 3rd basic attack, so it gets twice as good. And then we've got the battle skill. Selects the main, throws an incendiary at its sides, dealing fire damage upon him, 75% chance of inflicting burn. So we have 2 ways of getting burn. Basic attack and the battle skill so far. I'm liking it. Strike the enemy within 5 times, dealing fire damage with a 30% chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn. So this guy is going to be putting burn on the board, which is going to be essential if you want to take advantage of the characters that dispel it with the blast. Right here, we've got Percival, which is a captain, increases all allies' attack by 24% in the City of Trials. So what I'm liking about this is it's relatively easy to get rares, and we can get rares. If you do pull a legendary, you probably can make it work, especially if you've got a couple of the rares and maybe one of the epics and one of the legendaries. I'm sure it works amazing if you get all 3 legendaries, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Hero deals more damage for enemies inflicted with burn. Strike the enemies 3 times with 75% inflicting burn, so a burn enabling mechanic. Grants 25% up to all burn allies. Then attacks and deals damage to enemies within range. So this is just a 20% attack boost to the team. That is okay. Now, I want to go to the one that I'm the most excited about right now, which is going to be the ice one, calling Ice Blast. And this looks bonkers. Absolutely looks bonkers. I don't know how to say the names. We're going to start it right here with Bedell. And Bedell is the one that has the special artifact. Helm of the Frostbeards. So this is the special exclusive autograph for Bedell. How are you saying? Beldell? Damage dealt by runway will be increased by 35%, while the upper limit of the stackable damage of Frost Flavor will be increased to 200%. Now, the battle skills on these guys are pretty impactful, and they put on a mechanic that we're going to talk about. And let's just get into it. We're going to load up the Ice Blast, and starting with the captain ability, increase all allies crit damage by 30% in battles if the hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill. And this is going to be a mechanic on most of the Ice Blast characters. Consumes 1 stack of ice crystal to cast the skill again. So there's going to be ways of getting the ice crystals. The battle skill is going to pop off and then do a bunch more. And this looks like it's going to be bonkers. Single target damage. Let's read the description of how they describe the school of Ice Blast. An ice school of damage dealing that specializes in single target attack. Heroes of the school possess a special skill resource, Ice Crystal. When they cast a battle skill, 1 stack of ice crystal will be consumed to refresh the cooldown of their battle skill. So it's going to pop off, right? I think that's going to be fantastic. Let's look at the battle skill. Deal cold damage to the enemy while ignoring their shield. Then the hero gains crit damage up for 5 seconds. So the crit damage up goes by up for another 30%. And that's going to pop up twice if they have the ice crystals. Now, look at the ice crystals, right? Strike an enemy 3 times, each dealing cold damage with a 50% chance of gaining a stack of ice crystals. So, the way this could work is the ultimate goes off. Then there's going to be a bunch of stack of ice crystals. Then the battle skill is just going to explode and do massive amount of single target damage. Let's take a look at the next legendary here. And right here, we've got the passive when an ally casts a spell that consumes ice crystals, which is going to be their battle skills. The hero fires an icicle, like then a ping at the current target, dealing derivative cold damage while there's 35% chance of gaining a stack of ice crystals. So, whenever the battle skill, because I think all of them, not all of them, but I'm pretty sure most of the Ice Blast characters that we're going to read about are going to be consuming the ice crystals with their battle skills. Let's just read and see if that's true. Fires an icicle to enemy, dealing cold damage, consuming all the hero's ice crystals. Every stack of ice crystals consumed launches an additional icicle, dealing a lot of damage. Grants 40% damage up to all Ice Blast allies, with a 100% chance of granting them 1 stack of ice crystal. Meanwhile, all Ice Blast allies gain the effect of Zorak's passive skill for 15 seconds, which is the pinging. Oh my God. So this guy right here is going to put Ice Blast damage up and enable all the Ice Blast characters to have his passive. Wow. Wow. Having those two seems amazing. Now we're going to get, well, I guess there's going to be a whole water merfolk thing. Captain, increase the all attack by 45% in the City of Trials battles. If the hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill, cast it again, consuming 1 stack of ice crystal. This is going to be a recurring theme. When granting ice crystal to all Ice Blast allies, the hero would additionally grant a 1.5% attack up that lasts for 10 seconds to all Ice Blast allies. So this is going to be basically an extra, 15% damage. Okay. Generates a Frost Bomb after briefly channeling, dealing cold damage to the enemy. Generate an extra Frost Bomb for each stack of ice crystal the hero has. Each time a Frost Bomb hits a target, there is a 50% chance of granting 1 stack of ice crystal to Ice Blast ally. Fantastic. What do we got here? It's the whole board. Continually cast the spell for 6 seconds. During this period, strikes a random enemy every half second. So that pops off 12 times. Each time dealing attack, cold damage with a 50% chance of granting 1 stack of ice crystals to all blast allies. And then they just pop off when they do their battle skills. Yikes. Girthin, Captain, Epic Hero. All allies attack with 30% dungeon battles. The hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill. Consume an ice crystal and cast the skill again. Upon attaining ice crystals, for the hero gains crit damage up for 5 seconds. Strikes an enemy twice, each dealing cold damage. Then the hero gains crit bonus rate for 5 seconds. Gains 1 stack of ice crystal immediately if the skill kills an enemy. And will pop off again. Oh man, I guess this is going to be great in the Goblin Trials, right? I mean, this is going to be just like blowing up people and then refreshing and getting and going again and again. All right. So attacking the back line, jumps towards the enemy. Love this. Cold damage and gaining 1 stack of ice crystal. Fantastic. What do we got here? We've got Bledlin, Epic right here. Captain, increase all allies max HP by 24%. We got right here, if the hero has ice crystal after casting a battle skill, cast it again by consuming 1 stack of ice crystal. When the hero's skill triggers a critical hit, there's a 20% chance of granting 1 stack of ice crystal to Ice Blast ally. Looks amazing. Then the battle skill, which will be popping off You know what I mean? Again, if they have the stack, strikes the enemy twice, dealing damage with additional 20% chance of triggering a critical hit. And then the ultimate single target damage, giving attack up for 10 seconds and 2 stacks of Ice Crystal, the hero, and the Ice Crystal ally with the highest attack. So this guy is going to be an Ice Crystal enabler. Hopefully that'll be feeding the Ice Crystals to one of the legendaries. Then strikes the enemy 3 times, dealing cold damage with additional 20% chance of triggering a critical hit. My goodness. And then what do we got here? We've got the Miner, Sediak. What do we got here? If the hero has Ice Crystal after casting a battle skill, cast it again by consuming 1 stack of Ice Crystal. Standard stuff right here. 50% chance of ignoring 30% of the enemy's defense. Strike the enemy 3 times, so this could be popping off twice. Increase the damage of the skill 10% each time the skill is cast in battle, and this effect stacks up to 5 times. So this could be up to 50% as the match goes on. Could actually level 2 is up to 10 times, right? So this could be, 100% more. So it goes from 80 to 180%, hitting 3 times. Could be popping off twice. Oh my God! Or based off of how many Ice Crystals there are. Deals cold damage within a range of 75% chance of gaining 1 stack of Ice Crystal. And then we've got a rare that the hero has Ice Crystal after casting a battle skill. Cast again by consuming 1 stack of Ice Crystal. Same stuff. When the hero deals damage, 20% chance of granting 1 stack of Ice Crystal to Ice Blast ally with the highest attack other than the hero. Battle skill. Strikes the enemy twice, each dealing cold damage. Fine. Pretty basic right there. Of course, he's a rare hero. Cold damage to the enemies within the range. 75% chance of getting 1 stack of Ice Crystal. At 2-star, it's 100%. So that is the Ice Blast mechanics. We're going to go to the third and final new school titled Thunderbolt. And the flavor text on Thunderbolt is a lightning school of damage dealing that specializes in dealing AoE damage. Hero of this school inflict enemies with electrocuted, periodically dealing damage affected units by generating lightning chains. And this is the captain ability on perk. I don't know how to say that last part. Don't want YouTube to flag it. We're just going to call perk. Also on perk is the special item, the exclusive, look at that, massive amounts of attack and crit damage. Lawful retribution, 35% of the target's defense, while the damage bonus ratio provided for each stack of overwhelm will increase by 4%. Oh, I think this is going to be bonkers. Let's just go over the Thunderbolts, and we're going to go over his kit first. Attack by 45% in Grand Gladiator battles. When on the field, the hero gains 1 stack of electric overwhelm whenever electrocuted is triggered. Let's go to the other screen and look at it that way. It's a little bit easier to read, so I'm going to toggle over and select it this way. I just like the way that it presents over here a little bit better with the abilities. When the stack on the field, the hero's overwhelm, a limited duration whenever electrocuted is triggered. This effect cannot be dispelled and is capped at 30 stacks. The same time the hero casts a lightning dealing relatively low amount of damage, but if there's 30 stacks to the enemy with the lowest HP. Oh, going after the hero with the lowest HP is such a good thing. The fewer enemies on the field, the higher the damage, up to 500% of the base damage. Oof, oof, oof. Deals lightning damage to enemies within range with a 40% chance of inflicting electrocuted, which is the lightning chain to the carrier's position. So when the target gains electricity, then it emits like a lightning chain, likely derivative damage. So it's going to be enlightenment. The carrier up to 4 additional targets. So this is going to be great. Like AoE, it's just going to spread. What's going to look like electricity going over. Delivers damage dealt by electrocuted once. So that is the amount of that. Thunderbolt is what the electrocuted does, is my understanding. All right, ultimate hits the whole board. Each dealing Thunderbolt once and dealing lightning damage. For every stack of overwhelm on the hero, increases the damage of the skill by 3%. So what, they can hit up to what, 30 stacks? All stacks of Overwhelm on the hero will be cleared after this skill is cast, right? But this can get, Overwhelm can get to 30 stacks. So whatever the field, the hero gains 1 stack of Overwhelm, the limited duration electrocuted is triggered with the limited duration whenever electrocuted is triggered. So if you can get this guy up to 30 stacks, you know, from all the other people popping off the electrocuted, like they're all feeding into him, you know, this is going to be what, 30 times 3%, another, I don't know, I can't do the math. That's a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage extra, you know, on top of hitting for 275. So at 33, these are 90. So at 275 plus 90% times 3 seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Next, we have Nissa. Increase all attack by 45% in City of Trials. To start a combat, release a mechanical creature to follow the nearest enemy, keeping them afflicted with electrocuted. When the following target dies, the mechanical creature will reselect an enemy to follow. Fantastic. Deals lightning damage with a 75% chance of inflicting electrocuted. But this is going to feeling those stacks. Oh my god. Then triggers the Thunderbolt once if the enemy is under electrocuted. Targets the enemy, instructing mechanical creatures to follow the target, initiate an electric field that centers around the target for 10 seconds. When an enemy is inflicted with electrocuted, the mechanical creatures trigger Thunderbolt on them 2 times and deal derivative damage to all enemies within the electrical field. I have to see how that plays out. I'm not 100% sure. Enlightenment Aura. So I don't know how to say this. Shy, Natchiten, King of Calamity. Enlightenment. Okay, so far we've seen a lot of derivative damage, which is a function of enlightenment. Uses lightning strike up to 2 random enemies inflicted with electrocuted every 4 seconds, dealing extra damage to them with a 70% inflicting electrocuted from them for 8 seconds. Fantastic. So this is going to be a great way of getting more electrocuted on the enemies, right? You need high accuracy on the single target, battle target, dealing enlightenment lightning damage to 2 random enemies and putting more electrocuted on them. I think that's fantastic. Grants 15% attack up to all Thunderbolt allies. So this entire school of damage to enemies with range, in fact, with inflicting 75% chance of inflicting electrocuted. So that's going to be a great way of inflicting electrocuted. And then we've got 15% attack up. What do we got here? We've got 2 epics and a rare. So this is going to be the first epic. When an enemy's electrocuted is triggered, reduces the hero's current battle skill recharge time by 10%. This skill only takes effect once every 3 seconds, which the battle skill does lightning damage to enemies within range with a 40% chance of inflicting electrocuted for 8 seconds. My goodness. And then we have the final ultimate ability. There's the attack pattern. Lightning damage to enemies within range. If the enemies are under the effect of electrocuted, deals an extra 450% attack, lightning damage, and triggers Thunderbolt once on them. Okay, I'm the most interested so far in the ice one, but we're going to keep going right here. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. Attack up. Hero with the turrets will prioritize enemies that are not inflicted with electrocuted. In addition, each time the hero and the turret successfully inflict electrocuted, each turret gains 1 stack of attack up to 10 stacks. 100% extra attack. Wow. There's going to be some synergy there with the turret ones. A newly created turret will inherit all attack up stacks previously gained. Wow. Summons a turret, which occupies 1 time on the battlefield and has a certain amount of HP with unlimited duration and will attack enemies at regular intervals. They're going to be up to 2 turrets on the battlefield at the same time. When the number of turret reaches the upper limit, cast this skill to fully restore HP for the turret with the lowest current HP. So going to be topping them off. Grants attack speed up 2 and 15% X up to all turrets for 10 seconds. Chance of inflicting electrocuted of the turret's basic attacks is increased by 40%, the next 10%, and it's 15% when you have 2-star, 20% attack up. I've not been really impressed with the summons, but maybe the turret will be better than a summon. We'll have to see. We've got the rare. Passive skill for each enemy inflicted with electrocuted on the field, the hero gains a stack of 5% attack up, so up to 50%. Deals lightning damage to the target. If the target is inflicted with electrocuted, triggers Thunderbolt once on them Fantastic. And then lightning damage to enemies in the range with a 30% chance of inflicting electrocuted for 8 seconds. And that it goes up to 50% at 2-star. All right, so that is the 3 new schools. There's going to be brand new equipment sets, Inventor's Inspiration. Each time a battle skill or ultimate skill is cast, the wearer obtains 1 stack of damage bonus. There's an limit to the duration of the stack number. So this is going to be the equipment set. Abysmal Curse, the indirect damage dealt by the wearer ignores a certain percentage of defense. That seems good. Emperor's Might, the wearer deals increased damage based on the different value between the wearer's attack and the target attack. Ooh, that sounds great against tanks, right? Or anybody that's not an attack. Yeah, that seems great. 50% damage bonus. Oh, yeah. Because, yeah. When the wearer successfully inflicts a debuff on an enemy, the allies gain extra but unstackable attack that lasts for a certain period. I'm really liking this Emperor's Might, though. The Monolith Blessing. After caster an ultimate skill, the wearer heals an ally with the lowest percentage of AP. So that's going to be good on healers. New artifacts. We kind of went over 14 new artifacts we added, including 3 exclusive artifacts, which we've already gone over, 9 legendary artifacts, and 2 epic artifacts. I want to show the 2 epic artifacts because that's going to be relatively easy to purchase, right? I mean, you just save 20 of the currency and then you'll be able to get it. And they are these 2 right here. This one right here looks like it is going to be useful inside of Arena. The wearer and their nearby allies gain an additional 60 resistance for 15 seconds. So that's just going to proc at the beginning of battle. I think that'll be good in Arena. And that'll affect, you know, you could put that on, you know, your tank or a mage that does healing or something. And, you know, okay, you know, they're doing something, right? And then right here, we've got the 100-eye robe, defense and HP. When the wearer takes damage for every buff on the attacker, the damage reduced by up to 5%. Oh, we'll have to see how impactful those are when it actually comes out. So that's the 2 new epic artifacts. Brand new monster, Mushroom Broodmother, fiery new Feymander boss whose skills inflict stackable, undispellable spider spawn that increase healing amount of certain probability. The new Otherworld exploration by a giant robot whose skills grant itself stackable, undispellable, overheated that periodically heals damage to all enemies. All 8 dungeon buttons will be upgraded. Brand new skills and mechanics awaiting travelers. It's not going to be the same. Brand new event. Fourth Faring Summons, a season settlement exclusively summons pool divided into 3 categories based on the settlement rankings of the travelers. Only season summon gimmicks on the corresponding level can be used. The summons required triggered by the guarantee relatively lower for this event, while the probability of obtaining S2 new heroes is much higher. Now, there was also a chart, and I want to read what this is because I don't fully understand how this works, but basically, ranking 1 through 20 is going to get the Supreme Summon ticket type. Ticket effects, a lot more likely to get the new hero and can summon all the new heroes. 20. So I placed in the top 150, so I'm going to fall into this premium. And then if you're in the top 50 to 20% cannot summon some of the new heroes. Top 51, 95 cannot summon the new heroes with the season summit ticket. So that's going to be the quantities. And in the top 51 to 95, we'll only get 10 of these. And I want to read what they said about this because it's not 100% clear to me. You will obtain season summon tickets of different qualities according to your settlement ranking. Here you can see exactly how many and what types of season summon tickets you can obtain. And then it says also 2 weeks before the new season begins, another hero pool that features new season 2 heroes will be opened. And don't worry, unlike the settlement pool, you can draw as much as you like in this pool. You can get all the season 2 heroes in this pool. That's right. All the new season 2 heroes. So there's going to be a waiting period, right? Then that includes new SPs. And then the 3 heroes that we covered at length that had the special artifacts, Bedell, Kirk, and Ashitius, are also available as hero pool. The definitive center of Burn, Ice, Blast, and Thunderbolt compositions. So that is very, very excited. I just want to go over the rest of the details here on the website. We kind of went over all of that. All right. So we've got the season 2 Then elemental affinity rotation, brand new set of elemental affinity, new elemental affinity skills upgraded. Affinity solvent has been adjusted as well. So basically, let's take a look at that in game. It's going to change, and I'm actually pretty excited about some of this. We're going to go to the core. We're going to hit elemental affinity. We're going to hit overview. Right here, I'm mostly looking forward to ice and radiant. We've got poison and lightning. I think I'm going to do okay with that one there. I'm worried about fire necrosis. Maybe this season I will pull some good legendary fire. I know in my pulls when I do them, that's what I'm going to be mostly hoping for, is some sort of plug and play fire, plug and play necrotic, so that I can do well and be ready for season 3, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, right? All right, season review. Optimize our current review display. Added the AI generated song feature. You're welcome to enjoy the customized hymn for your adventure this season. Added new quests and world challenge and champion emblem. The journal added new trial quests. Added new features, including leader impeachment, alliance invitation, offline chat. Optimized the gameplay of Alliance Duel. Alliance experience is seen. All around upgrades, localization. Optimized the text in 13 languages. Fixed UI issues, some bug fixes. Optimize the interaction display of certain graphic text and other aspects, adjustments, and optimizations. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out some other things that they're talking about that are going to happen at the beginning, is that there's going to be a new optimization experiences, smoother early game, faster growth, seasonal benefits, fourth fairing summons, season 1 reward shop, season 2 exclusive summon pool, season 1 concluded with rotation of celestial section, now prepare for season 2. And lastly, I wanted to show something in game in the store that I thought was interesting also. Last season we had the amethyst, and this one here we have the lunar halo shop, which is going to be, actually I'm pretty excited about this here, Ardreth. So what I don't see here is I do see the token shop for the Dungeon and Dragon Dritz, and I do see the Lunar Halo shop, which is replacing the Amethyst shop. And so I'm thinking that you want to spend this currency. If you're sitting on the Amethyst currency right now in game, maybe go and spend it. You know, if you were, I was not able to get the purple legendary, I don't remember his name, but this one right here, which we're going to cover in tomorrow's video, looks pretty amazing. Especially if you pair her up with Garius, one of the best epics in the game. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming. Season 2. Thanks for sponsoring the video. Click the link in the description. Bye for now.